AmericaFirst.com.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to AmericaFirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, changing conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
You're the turf whisperer, the grass-cutting guru. Dandelions don't stand a chance on your watch. When it comes to your lawn, power moves are the only moves you make. That's why you just applied IFA's Weed and Feed for strong, dark green turf without a weed in sight. IFA's Weed and Feed. It's the ultimate lawn owner power move.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. It's time for the Rumor Mill. It's kind of a fun little segment that we created a couple months ago to help us get through these times.
Get through the summer.
The dog days. Give us a chance to talk about rumors, things that aren't quite official in college sports, or I guess sports in general, you know. Yep. But today's going to be a little college heavy. But we'll start right here. This is something we talked about last week a little bit, but we got to rehash it because we do have some new news in this. So, Alex, rumor has it. Kalani Sitake not happy with BYU's athletic department over quote-unquote resources, whatever that means.
Yes.
I do think that's funny because we don't know what resources means. He kind of has come out and said that it's not so much NIL, like it's other stuff that could fall under the resources umbrella. But I don't know. It's a really vague term. That could mean anything.
Ultimately,
but he wants more.
Yeah. Ultimately, you know, when again, going back to December when all this was happening, when he was asked about, you know, why he decided to stay at BYU and why that situation was played out the way that it is. One of the first things and one of the things that stick out in my mind from that quote was the fact that he mentioned, you got to take care of my guys, you got to take care of my coaches, you got to take care of my staff. And so I wonder if that has, you know, I don't know if we'll ever know for sure what the unkept promises are or what what the quote unquote resources are, but that's just always something that's stuck in the back of my head.
You think BYU is going to pony up? You think they are going to right the wrongs?
Well, I think if there's anybody down there in Provo that you don't want to have upset, it's Kalani Sitake.
Yeah, well, he is.
Right, and he
so
is.
They let it get to that point in the first place.
And he is. But you've got to do what you can to make the Kalani Sitake situation right. You guys had Adam Rittenberg on your show earlier this week. Mm-hmm. There's a promo running right now where he talks about, look, Penn State isn't going to be the only one.
Yep.
People are going to come knocking. People are going to come asking. And if you're in a situation where Kalani Sitake is still upset at the program, there is a very good chance that if he has another season the way that he did the last 2 years, there's going to be an offer on the table, and this time I don't know if Kalani Sitake turns it down.
Not after all this.
Not after all this. Not if he's not if he gets to the end of the season and he's still upset.
Even if he is, if things are rectified,
and maybe now if things are rectified and that relationship has soured enough,
right? Even if things are rectified, that doesn't mean that his relationship with the athletic department is fully repaired.
Yeah.
You know, this is always going to be sour apples. Kalani's always going to have this in the back of his mind. Kalani has been a perennial coaching candidate every single year, you know, whether it was USC looking for a coach or Washington State or whoever. Kalani's name is on every single list. But you bring up, you know, the back-to-back 10-win seasons. That's when you start seeing the bigger jobs, the national jobs, the Penn States of the world come calling. And that's a job that most people would be crazy to turn down. When Kalani turns down Penn State, the thought is, oh, BYU finally wants to play with the big boys. BYU wants to put the resources out and be, I guess, on the same level as those Big Ten schools. And that's what they told Kalani they would do. Then he comes back, and again, we don't know what resources means, but Kalani's saying that those promises have not been met yet. But earlier I teased like an interesting wrinkle to this story, right? BYU basketball added Jackson Kohler yesterday, the biggest transfer recruit right now because of this class of 2022 stuff.
Yes.
This is a very good player.
Yes.
That probably could have stuck in the NBA, and he played with the Utah Jazz in their summer league and yada, yada, yada. But he decided to come back to college basketball. Not cheap, by the way. And he happens to end up at BYU. So you think Kalani Sitake sees that news, and you think he was like, yeah, go Cougs? Or do you think that he's like, dude, what the heck?
No,
Emphasis on what the heck, by the way.
Had everything not, had the drama and everything that came along with it the last week not happen. I don't know, but because of the situation that you're in right now with his comments of I'm easy to get along with, his comments of my agent's going to handle that, the frustration that's been building in Mountain, now you get to the point where Jackson Kohler commits to BYU. I'm sure that irks people a little bit. And
by people you mean Kalani Sitake.
I mean, probably just the football program as a whole, because I'm sure the staff are in the same boat. I'm sure maybe even some of the players might be on the same boat. Who knows? But yeah, you see that come through, and I think at first you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Right. There's fighting going on with the athletic department right now. But, and, part of the drama is, too, that, of course, we all know Brian Santiago comes from a basketball background.
Yes.
So how much of the drama is basketball versus football? Is football jealous that basketball has been seeing all these resources over the recent years? They land AJ DeBonsa, they land Bruce Branch III, they bring Rob Wright in and are able to retain him after a year. Like, that is costly. That takes a lot of money. And then these rumors come out that maybe BYU football and their roster isn't nearly as expensive as everybody is kind of assuming. You assume that basketball is getting so much money dumped into it that, of course, the football team is too. And now it turns out that that's not really the case. And the football team isn't nearly as expensive as we thought it was. And they're pinching pennies and begging, some of these players to take pay cuts. And they are, credit to them, they are able to retain Bear Bachmeyer and Falatau Satuala and LJ Martin. Some of these players that had huge offers on the table from other schools or could have gone pro. And the football team is able to retain them because of the culture. But that culture only lasts so long. You can't sell the players on culture every single year. Eventually, they're going to want to get paid. So this is something that is going to need a resolution. And as we talked about earlier in the segment, Alex, even if it does get resolved, if the next big school comes calling, if USC fires stinking Riley,
which is a very big possibility,
and they come calling,
yeah,
I don't think Kalani's going to make the same mistake twice. USC's not giving basketball a bunch more resources over their football team.
No, and you're absolutely right. Like, there is going to be I think there's going to be some Big Ten jobs that are going to open up this offseason that are going to be enticed and that are going to be looking for somebody like Kalani Sitake. Again, if Sitake goes and BYU goes and has a season similar to what we've seen the last 2 years, it is quite possible. But I think, going back to a point that you made earlier, I think it's silly that the athletic department is pitting basketball versus football. You've got to find a way to, and I know it's a lot easier said than done, but you have to find a way to and be in a spot where both are happy and competitive.
Can you? That's the big question. That's the
problem.
literally the $1 million
That's one of the
question.
problems with college sports these days.
Right. It seems like you have to pick one or the other. I mean, there aren't many schools. I guess Michigan right now, football and basketball, they seem to be pumping resources into both, but not a lot of programs can do that because we're talking again. This NIL stuff started at like maybe $10 million total. Now we're talking about some of these athletic departments spending $50, $60 million a season on, that's when you're talking about football and basketball. So can BYU do that? I don't know.
I think ultimately you have to weigh right. Do you allow Kalani to stay upset? Do you allow Kalani to even consider leaving the university if an offer comes in December in the next off season? And do you continue to pump as much as you're pumping into basketball, or do you try to find a way to balance it a little bit more to make sure that you can keep Kevin Young happy and Kalani Sitake happy?
Well, and then I guess if you can only pick one,
if you can only
pump resources into one, what is more valuable to a school? Assuming that you have return on your investment, which, let's be honest, is not a 100% guarantee. But let's, for the sake of the argument, assume that if you do pick a path, it will have return, right? Yep. So what is more valuable to a school? Let's say you pump resources into basketball and make the Elite Eight or Final Four, versus you pump resources into football and finally make the college football playoff that BYU's been on the doorstep of the last 2 years. What would be more valuable to a program? And I think there's a clear answer here.
There is, and it's the moneymaker. It's what drives.
It's always going to be football.
The reason why we're in the situation that we're in is because SEC football and the Big Ten football run college athletics.
Right.
It's not even just the basketball side of things. It's because football drives the boat, and football is the moneymaker. And the TV deals that they have for football are big moneymakers.
Huge.
So football drives the boat, and ultimately, I think it's unfortunate because I think looking at it from a fan perspective and looking at it from you weigh in an Elite Eight Final Four run versus just a college football playoff appearance. You want to go on a run.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You want to make a deep run. You want to have the chance to go further. But if just making a college football appearance, I think overall is, again, from a fan perspective, it'll be more disappointing than making a Final Four run. Just making the college football playoff experience. Obviously, make a run, different story. But I think from the perspective of the athletic program or the athletic department, I do think that there is more value, more money to be made with just the college football playoff appearance.
Right. There always will be.
Right.
Because the college football playoff matters.
More exposure.
There's more exposure, and that's where BYU wants to be. That's where any athletic department wants to be. You ask any athletic department, would you rather be a top 12 football school or a top 12 basketball school? They're all going to say football because that brings so much more money. So you look at, the way that BYU athletic department has spent the last few years and all the money they've dumped into these recruits and transfers. It seems like they want to establish themselves as a basketball school while kind of threading the needle of being a college football playoff team, but not spending like a college football playoff team. But again, they haven't even made the playoff yet. They've been right there on the doorstep. Now, you could have the argument that they deserve to be in both years. I'm not here to make that argument right now. I'm here to just say that, you can't cheap out on your football roster forever.
Yeah.
Eventually, those kids are going to want money. Eventually, the sell of culture is only going to get you so far. So we'll see what happens, man. I do think it is a very interesting conversation as far as even if this is rectified, even if BYU does pony up and give Kalani what he requested, what he wants, the next time a school comes calling, does he say no? I don't know.
Well, it's up to the athletic department to get that relationship back to a good spot and to where it needs to be, because that's probably, I think, the big fear right now is the fact that come December, does he have that same? Does he have the relationship enough to be like, you know what, I want to stay here, or is this soured him enough to be like, I don't know.
The ball is in the athletic department's court right now.
Absolutely,
it's up to them.
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
And good on Kalani, man. I think good on Kalani as far as putting the pressure on the decision makers to make sure that the football program is set up in the best spot. I know that there's a lot of people who I think ultimately would leading into a football season where you have so much promise and so much potential that you wouldn't want to have to deal with the drama that's now being associated with your athletic department and your relationship with your athletic director.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately in order for there to be change, something had to be said, and so I do commend him still for taking the opportunity that he did to make sure that people were aware of the situation that was going on down there at BYU, and not just letting it boil over behind the scenes to a point where you get to December and all of a sudden you're talking about a shocking departure from Kalani Sitake.
If a team came calling right now, of course we know this is not going to happen, can't happen, but if a team came calling right now, Kalani would leave. Right? It's safe to say? I guess let's say if the season ended today, right? If the season ended today or tomorrow and a team came calling.
It certainly feels that way.
It feels like Kalani would leave.
Certainly feels that way.
You've got however many months, six months to figure it out.
Yes. But as we've said on this show, as we've said multiple times here on the Saturday show, winning fixes everything.
That it does.
Winning fixes a lot. And if BYU's in a spot where they make that college football playoff appearance, that so elusive college football playoff appearance that they've wanted the last 2 years, then maybe the conversation changes quickly for the BYU athletic department.
Alex, thanks to you, we did get the YouTube situation figured out. So, of course, whether you are listening live on the radio or watching us on YouTube, or even if you're podcasting this later on, really appreciate everybody for listening. But I want to encourage you, on the YouTube comment section, you can always feel free to leave a comment or tweet at us. We were mentioning Osteomath on Twitter, or you can use the KSL Sports app and send us a voicemail. We love your feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this Kalani Sitake stuff, or going back to the Utah stuff with Freddie Whittingham. Let us know what you think. Also, if you're just hanging out at home, and you want to pull up YouTube or whatever, you're just channel surfing, check out KSL 5.3. We're on there as well. Okay, we are on TV. We're on KSL 5.3, and if you have an Xfinity box, channel 381. Okay, I didn't know that. Get on there. Find us on the TV. Absolutely. You can find us. There's no excuse to not listen to the Saturday show. There's so many ways to consume the KSL Sports Zone. There's so many ways to consume KSL Sports, whether it's the app, whether it's 5.3, whether it's streaming, whatever the case may be. There's plenty of ways to consume. So come join us every Saturday morning. Technical fouls coming up next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome to This is Jay Scott and Ben Anderson.
Joining the show now, college football writer for CBS Sports, John Talty. I was down at Big 12 Media Days, and the buzzword was unsustainable. Is the status quo unsustainable? And if so, how long in the future is that?
You go back to the start of NIL when guys were just starting to get paid, and you had athletic directors crying poor and how this is not sustainable. We can't do this. The issue is that I feel like I've been hearing that for 5 years, and somehow the numbers keep going higher. The total numbers have probably 4x, 5x, if not more, than where they were back then. I do think for some conferences and some schools, you might eventually get that point where it's like, this is not worth it to us. We can't keep competing if such and such school is spending $50 million on their roster, and we're only spending $18 million on our roster, which there are Big 12 schools doing that this year. At a certain point, you say, can we win doing this, or do we have to find a different angle or focus on something else like basketball or another sport, and maybe we just try to get to a bowl, and that's where our aspirations are.
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Tonight, Real Salt Lake is in Orlando. The pregame show starts at 4:30. First kicks at 5:30 on 97.5 The Zone. Also tonight, the Salt Lake Bees host the Reno Aces. First pitch at ballpark, 6:35 on 1280 The Zone. If you want to introduce your company to the Zone's passionate listeners and get to your message, and get your message out to thousands of potential customers. Email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
I didn't realize how bad my windows were until I replaced them. You think your house is fine, and then you sit by a new high-performance window, and suddenly you're not freezing in the winter or baking in the summer. Peach Windows and Doors showed me the difference between builder-grade windows and real performance windows. The glass packages, the seals, the insulation, it's not even close. And here's the part I love. It completely changes the look of the house. Cleaner lines, bigger glass, more light. It instantly feels upgraded. Whether you're building $1 million home or you want yours to look like one, windows matter more than you think. Lower energy bills, more comfort, massive curb appeal. Go see the difference for yourself at peachdoorsandwindows.com or visit their showroom. Trust me, once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. peachdoorsandwindows.com.
Hey Utah, Jimmer Fredette here. You remember Jimmer Mania? When the building got loud, the tempo sped up, and you could feel something special was about to happen? That's the same kind of energy you get behind the wheel at BMW of Pleasant Grove. Quick acceleration, sharp handling, total control. Whether you're hitting I-15 for work, making the school run, or heading out for the weekend. Because great driving is like great basketball. Quick decisions, smooth moves, and confidence when it matters. And if you know my game, you know that I love the three-pointer. Catch it, rise up, let it fly. In a BMW, it's the same feeling. Smooth, precise, and dialed in. Like you're pulling from deep, and you know it's money the second it leaves your hand. The crew at BMW of Pleasant Grove makes the whole process easy too. No pressure, no runaround. Just a premium experience from shopping to financing to service that has your back for miles. So if you're ready to upgrade your drive and bring that game day energy to every day, visit BMW of Pleasant Grove or online at bmwofpg.com. BMW of Pleasant Grove. Drive elevated.
This is Devin Dampier. As a quarterback, I spent a lot of time making good decisions. Throw it deep, check down, scramble, but one decision was easy. I stopped drinking weird tasting water. You know the kind, the water that makes you wonder, did somebody rinse their pennies in this? That's why I called Culligan Water Salt Lake City.
Culligan offers whole home water softeners, reverse osmosis drinking water systems, and bottle-free coolers designed to give your home cleaner, better tasting water.
Now my water tastes amazing. My teammates keep asking, what's my secret? More film study? Nope. Extra workouts? Not that either. Better water. Although, if you can tell, Coach, that's the reason I complete more passes. I'd appreciate it.
Right now, contact Culligan Water Salt Lake City and ask about their latest specials.
Life's too short for bad water. Trust me, I've been hit by linebackers. Some water is harder to swallow. Make the smart play and call Culligan Water Salt Lake City today.
Visit CulliganSLC.com. Culligan, water you love.
AI is everywhere, but how can it actually help your business? Every business is hearing about AI, but knowing where it can make the biggest difference isn't always obvious. DevSimplify.com helps you identify where AI can save time, reduce costs, and improve the way your business operates using the team you already have. DevSimplify.com custom builds the right solution for your business. The businesses that embrace AI strategically today will lead tomorrow. Learn how to make AI your advantage. DevSimplify.com. Listen every morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with Jake and Ben for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat, you'll get hit with a bat, 'cause that's a technical foul. You will feel my wrath. That's a technical foul.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, thank you for tuning in, making us a part of your Saturday morning. And we love the feedback. We always do. Opened up the YouTube earlier, got that up and running. We have a comment. Let's start off with that before we get into technical fouls. At Baldwin Go in the Hoop. I'll start off the chat. BYU is Kalani. Kalani is BYU. You lose him, who are you going to replace him with? He is the most BYU coach ever. BYU cannot botch this. Do what it takes to keep him. Totally agree.
Could not agree more.
You lose Kalani. You lose all the momentum that the football program has built over the last few years. Like you look at specifically the last 2 years, the BYU's going in their 4th year in the Big 12. Their first year was okay, but then their second and third years in the conference, they're contending for the title. And you don't do that without Kalani Sitake, especially if you lose him now, you lose the culture that he has spent 10 years building up.
Right.
And it definitely feels like nobody else can really come in and do that. He doesn't have a successor the same way that Kyle Whittingham spent years preparing Morgan Scalley, getting ready for the Utah job. And even that's different because there is no guarantee that Morgan Scalley can coach. We're going to find out. But Kalani is one of one, and BYU cannot afford to lose him.
Right. It's something that we've said here on the show before, and it's truly, Kalani is BYU football. He is the face of the program. He is the culture, and I think ball didn't go in the hoop, hit it right in the head. BYU cannot botch this. They cannot afford to let him leave unhappy.
Right, because if Brian Santiago lets Kalani go, that is a huge, huge bad look for him, right? And that's always going to hang over his head as athletic director. And eventually when, if it comes time to cut ties with him eventually, then you're going to be like, okay, now we're out an athletic director and Kalani Sitake, right? So
right.
Can't let it happen.
Absolutely.
Let's get into technical fouls. I had one that I tweeted about this earlier in the week. So we talked about BYU landed Jackson Kohler. He was at Michigan State forever, and he spent the summer league with the Utah Jazz. Never signed a professional contract, mind you. He spent the summer league with the Jazz. He played in a couple of games. And then he's part of this class of 2022
yes.
that gets the injunction, and he can return to college for one more year. And he comes to BYU, and everybody knew he was going to BYU, right? Even before this happened, the rumor always was if he could get that extra year of eligibility, he was going to come to BYU. Everybody knew. But it becomes official, and On3, like a really big college sports account,
right,
makes the tweet. Former Utah Jazz forward Jackson Kohler has committed to BYU. Kohler played college basketball at Michigan State. And then the picture they use is a Utah Jazz jersey photoshopped onto Jackson Kohler. But here's my issue with this, and here's why I'm calling it out. Jackson Kohler never wore this jersey. And no, I'm not here to say, oh, he wore the purple Jazz jersey instead of the white Jazz jersey. No, he never wore a Utah Jazz jersey. Period. End of day. He wore the summer league jerseys that they wear that are way different than their regular uniforms. And I'm almost here to say that, like, yeah, summer league NBA is not NBA. You can't call yourself a professional athlete if you played a few games in summer league. This is On3 trying to rile people up on purpose, saying, oh, look, an NBA player is going back to college because that was the hubbub last year. That's not what this is. Jackson Kohler was not an NBA player. He probably could have stuck around in the NBA had he wanted to. But this is not a case of a professional athlete going back to college.
Right.
There are a couple NFL players this week that were playing in preseason games. Even that's different than NBA Summer League. NFL preseason, you have to actually sign a contract to play on those preseason teams. The NBA has their own preseason. That's not Summer League. That's different. Jackson Kohler is not a professional athlete returning to BYU. This is just finding the hot topic and trying to make people upset.
Well, I mean, and that was a little bit of the hot topic this week, as far as the national thing is that TRO that was passed for the Ole Miss players, and ended up grandfathering a lot of players who are currently fighting for spots on NFL rosters, currently fighting for spots to potentially make the final 53-man rosters in the NFL. And, if they get cut and they get released out of their contracts by September 1st, they have a chance to make it back into college sports.
Right.
That was that conversation is going on. So if putting him in a Utah Jazz jersey, I feel just adds fuel to the fire. of people being upset that professional players, professional people are going back to college sports and taking roster spots from guys who are competing to be at the college level.
But that's not what this is.
Yeah.
So
you're just fueling the fire.
Exactly. Yeah. Find something else to be upset about. This is minuscule.
You know what you can be upset about?
What's that?
Pat McAfee, man.
Oh, why are you mad? You're mad with the Pat? You didn't like his album?
Yeah, I got some Pat McAfee fatigue over here, man.
Oh.
I think that's where we're at. So Linda Cohn, who was a longtime ESPN legend, retired this past June. Spent anchoring most of her career anchoring SportsCenter on ESPN for a really, really long time. She jumps on a podcast. I guess it's her own show now that she's retired. She jumps on a podcast, and this is, a former ESPN employee talking about the Pat McAfee Love Fest and how much Pat McAfee is enough Pat McAfee. And I think we're at the point where I've seen enough of Pat McAfee. You have the album that was dropped, and then now
Did you listen to it?
No, absolutely. That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. I listened to the first song.
Yeah. And that was enough to turn it off.
That was enough for me. But then on top of that, too, now, obviously, oh, no, Sean.
Oh, I thought that was my phone. I was listening to this on the way in. I thought it was still playing on my phone.
No, Sean.
No, I have this in the system.
I know.
I had to play it on Jake.
I know. I did hear that.
I'm watching myself on YouTube. You got to see my reaction when this starts playing. Seriously, I thought this was my phone.
One of the conversations that happened this offseason was the fact that ESPN and was the big layoffs, right? After they acquired NFL Network, and then the news comes out that Pat McAfee's going to be making, what was it, $60 million or whatever the number was, an absurd amount of money.
Yeah.
Now you have him
60.
Right. Now you have him, at this level where he's releasing an album. And on top of that, he's now been added to the Monday Night Football desk on ESPN.
Yeah. With Jason Kelce. Yeah.
So how much I completely agree with Linda Cohn. How much Pat McAfee is enough Pat McAfee?
Well, so the thing with Pat McAfee is that to the general fan, he is very entertaining. To the, I don't want to use the term casual because that's almost become derogatory. And I don't mean it that way. To the general fan, he is entertaining. And I have been entertained by Pat McAfee. I have.
In the past, yes.
Do I feel overwhelmed with the amount of Pat McAfee we are getting? Yes. To the diehard fan, yeah, he's an idiot. He's a loser. But that is what is selling right now.
Right.
That brand is what is selling. And the reason ESPN is pumping so much money into him is because he is bringing a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention. We always talk about those, the field goal kicks that he does on College Game Day to give away money because those are funny. Those are entertaining, and they are getting an investment on their return. So while it does feel overwhelming, frankly, I understand because that's just the way that media is. If you've got a personality, that people love to see and hear, why do you think we put DJ on everything? Everybody loves David James.
Right? And I mean, to keep it in the ESPN realm, that's why Stephen A. got to where he is today.
Yeah. Because he brings eyeballs.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are fatigued with Pat McAfee, but he's not going anywhere.
No,
unfortunately.
He's not.
You're getting more Pitt.
Got a big contract.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. I don't love Monday Night Football anyways. I think they have the weakest of the primetime broadcasts, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like Thursday. I really like what Prime has done with the Thursday Night Football.
I like their production. I like their desk.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I like their people. It just annoys me that it's on Amazon. Just give it to me.
You don't like Jeff Bezos?
Just give it to me on TV. Just give it to me on TV.
Well, we all know Sunday Night Football is the best, obviously.
Yeah, and I get it. I have Amazon Prime, so it's automatically included in your Prime thing.
Yeah.
But if I were to ever want to move on from Prime, then I don't know, which I've considered because I really don't use it. The only thing I use it for is NFL at this point. So it's like
It's ironic. I really like.
They got me.
I like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. They're probably my favorite broadcast team. But the rest of that.
I like Van Pelt.
Does he do football?
Yeah. He hosts Scott Van Pelt. He's the one who hosts the Monday Night Show.
Yeah.
He's the one who hosts it.
No, that's okay. I thought you were talking about like play-by-play stuff.
No.
That's why
I'm talking about the desk now.
Right.
At ESPN for Monday Night Football, which Pat McAfee will now be on.
Well, I don't watch it anyways. I don't watch that because I don't like it.
I do because I'm a sicko. Give me all the football.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up next, we will get back into training camp stuff. We've got some sound that we could play. We heard from Kalani Sitake earlier this week. Maybe not. We'll get into that. We will see. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Broadcasting live from the KSL Cars Studio. This is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere.
Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up to the second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without right from your phone. And wherever in the world you may be, you can have DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben tag along with live streaming of your favorite shows. Download the KSL Sports app and never miss a thing. Presented by University of Utah Health. Health is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
Utah's wild new adventure is a gauntlet of steel, stone, and guts. Would you step out over the open air with nothing but your gear between you and the drop? Do a lot of people bite off more than they can shoot?
I would say maybe 80% of people do. People don't understand. It is massive.
What you need to know before you clip in.
Where am I even stepping? Holy cow.
Harnessing Adventure. Vernal's Via Ferrata, Monday at 10 on KSL 5.
Hey, honey, I was thinking about updating the house a little.
A little?
You know, new siding, new windows, gutters that actually work, maybe even a new deck.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I called RGS Exteriors.
Well, that's a good decision.
When it comes to upgrading your home's exterior, the right choice is easy. RGS Exteriors specializes in siding, windows, gutters, and decking that transform the look and protection of your home.
Hi, Tim Brown, RGS Exteriors. My family has been building and improving homes in Utah for 5 generations, and taking care of homeowners is something we take very serious. With over 1,300 5-star Google reviews, 21 Best of State awards, and our 10-year workmanship warranty, homeowners know they can trust RGS. Over 200,000 families across Utah have trusted RGS Exteriors with their home, and so can you. Schedule your free estimate today at 801-280-3110, 801-280-3110.
Now's the perfect time to recognize the everyday heroes who make youth sports happen in our community. The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are celebrating the coaches, referees, organizers, and volunteers who give their time so our kids can play. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. Each week, one deserving hero will be spotlighted during the Jake and Ben Show at 4:30 p.m. every Thursday. And the winner receives a $250 gift card courtesy of Beehive Meals. Don't wait. Lift up someone who lifts up our kids.
Sports.
After this hot summer, it's nice to begin to feel the change in the season. Some of the mornings now are cooling off. Pretty soon, we're going to have some spectacular colors up in Utah's mountains. It's time for you to get into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Hopefully, you've got all the kids taken care of back to school. It's time for a treat. Make that reservation for you and that special person to dine at one of the 2 Ruth's Chris Steakhouses. There's one, of course, up in Park City, and boy, when the colors change, it is sitting right in the middle of it all. And then, of course, there's downtown Salt Lake City at 275 South on West Temple. Make those reservations and anticipate that perfect meal, the perfect steak, seafood, poultry, whatever it might be, with all of those delicious side dishes and the desserts. And everybody at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse does the work for you. Make your reservations at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
I had a dream that you and me were caught up in the swelling of the sea. No use in trying to flee. You told me just to breathe in the stream. As we were floating on by, I tried desperately just to enjoy the ride. No worries with you by my side. You said try not to mind much the tide. Just breathe. I owe it all to you. Just breathe. You were the one to turn my blood. Just breathe. I owe it all to you. Just breathe.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, our good friend PNW Ute, agrees with us on YouTube.
Hey, PNW, man.
He says, yeah, DJ equals the Pat McAfee of KSL Sports. He's just everywhere. You can't get away from DJ.
Yes.
You're listening from 6 to 10. There he is.
He called me.
You're listening to the ad breaks in between shows. There he is. You're listening on Friday nights. There he is. DJ's everywhere.
He he's taken this funny approach now with the changes and everything to constantly remind me how much younger I am than him.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about phone booths and how we didn't know how I've never seen a phone booth and have
Yeah.
And somebody tweeted in and was like, "Wow, DJ, you guys are just hiring kindergartners now." And so I got called a kindergartner in week 1 working with DJ.
That's funny. Well, yeah, all their listeners, they've been listening for a while. You can only listen for a while if you've got some years of experience.
That's true. That is true.
And to anybody of that age, I'm sure we seem like children.
Yes.
And, in the grand scheme of things, I guess we still are pretty green. So that's why we appreciate anybody listening on Saturdays.
But kindergartner, come on, man.
You didn't like that one.
No, I didn't like that one.
No, Jake and Ben have this running bit where they explain everything to me because I don't know a lot of things. If you've listened to Jake and Ben, you've heard them do this.
Yeah.
They'll talk about who'd they do it the other day with, like an actress, and they'll be like, Christian, so-and-so was an actress from the 80s, was in these movies, and was really good. It's like, okay, I get it. Thanks.
But that's me too when I fill in for you.
Yeah,
I just
right.
can't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember who the actress was.
It's a funny bit. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there.
Yes.
One day.
We're learning.
But not kindergartners.
No.
Alex, let's jump into fall camp sound. It is fall camp time, and it ends next week, I believe, right? I think BYU, well, I don't want to spoil what Kalani says here, but I think BYU ends next week, BYU camp. I'm not quite certain when Utah ends, but game 1 is on the horizon, 2 weeks away. So the end of fall camp is near.
The end of fall camp is near, and it's time to start ramping up and getting game prep ready, man. It's time to get ready for week 1. Football's almost here.
Let's jump right in and listen to what Kalani Sitake had to say. This was yesterday from BYU camp.
Well, good practice. We've had some good live stuff, this week, and get scrimmage tomorrow. So we're 2 weeks out from the game, and really excited about where we're at right now. I've had a really good 2-minute situation with the team at the end of practice, and I love the way the guys are working. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, and playing some real football now, and seeing the guys learn and develop in the last couple weeks has been awesome, and really excited where this is headed, and we just got to take advantage of all the time that we have. What questions do you have for me?
Kalani, what was the deal with the bright blue helmets? Those are the game helmets, right?
Yeah, I think that because we've been wearing the white helmets most of camp, and so we got to break in the helmets, and I think it's just so they didn't want to have it the first time that they're wearing the helmet is be in the game, and so I don't know. These guys are all spoiled. They have so many different helmets and shoes and all that stuff. So when I played, it was one helmet. That was it. And so so I think they have to just break them in a little bit and go with it. But it looks nice. I like the way the look of them, and I'm not sure what the uniform. Do we know what that is yet? Brett, do you know what it is?
I think it's royal top, white pants.
Okay, royal top and white pants. So I'm good with it. I like those colors.
When you brought in DeMario, he was originally going to do corners, and then you moved him to safeties, I think, if I'm right. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I think just looking at the candidates that we had for safeties and corners, we knew that DeMario could coach either one. And so, and he has had head coaching experience with his time in Southern Utah. He has coordinator experience, and so really like the way that he works. And he's also best friends with Gennaro Guilford, so they're very similar in their teaching style. And we just knew that there could be some flexibility with him there, and the opportunity to get Lewis Walker and Demo was really important. And I think they're going to be really good for us this year.
Will tomorrow be your last full live stadium look like you planned halfway through?
Yeah, with a lot of the guys, we probably already passed that. We did some live stuff this week, and I don't know if we need some of the guys to be live, but there's others that need to feel like what it's like to be tackled and break tackles, and so we'll get a look at all those guys. And then there's certain things that we need to do, as a team to get these guys to be a little bit more physical, but the majority of the guys are all ready to go. We just got to keep them. I mean, it's you develop these calluses and you get your body ready with the sparring that we do. So we I think most of the guys are ready, but there's some others that are a little bit soft skin, need a little beaten up. So we'll get that done tomorrow, and then we'll be ready for the season when we get to 2 weeks away.
Yeah, once you get to next Saturday, then you're into ramp up mode in a typical game build up at that point.
And then we focus more on our opponents too. Midway, so a week and a half out, we're going to be focusing on Utah Tech, and right now we're trying to get all our stuff in and figure out what's the best game plan, the strategy for week one. And so we'll just. It was a lot of work. The coaches did a great job, and we're almost there. But we'll need tomorrow, and we'll need the first 2 days next week to get ready.
When does fall camp officially close?
I think officially maybe in the middle of next week. Okay. And so, I thought the camp, I mean, the guys were way more ready than ever before, and so things were a lot easier. You could tell these guys spent a lot of time being football junkies and studying the game and studying. I mean, they did a lot of player-run meetings and player-run practices where they actually got together and took the initiative themselves to get their team ready. So a lot of the teaching, it was already done before we even got to camp, and I'm really pleased with the way they responded to it. And now we're just focusing on the technique and all the little details that can get us there.
Back in spring, Kelly Pinga noted that maybe an area that was of focus going into fall was the depth at cornerback. How do you feel about that? Guys emerging, we saw like Kevin Doe in some coverage today. Mm-hmm. Just how do you feel about the depth at cornerback after Shmev and Trey?
Yeah, and that's why we brought Jay Will here, so having him and seeing the development of K-Doe and seeing the development of Jordan Chris and Matthias Leach, those guys are coming along really nicely, and so we feel good about the depth there. Had Cannon DeVries playing some nickel for us too, and used Tommy there. So we've had a bunch of different versatile looks with the defense, and so I feel like we're in a really good spot. And there's a lot of corners that can play and a lot of DBs that can play. We have safeties that can play corner, so there's a lot of cross training between the two positions. That's why it's important to have a lot of great communication between Demo and Coach Walker.
Anything else?
The development of the mustache, could you elaborate on?
Oh, the mustache, yeah. Honestly, I have a...
Okay, Kalani is still talking, but You heard it right there. They spent, I kid you not, Sean, how much time was left? They spent 2 minutes talking about Kalani Sitake's mustache. So if you want to hear that, you can go find it at kslsports.com/podcast or wherever you get your podcast. You can go and hear those 2 minutes of Kalani Sitake mustache talk, as well as Justin Kirkland and Reggie Frischknecht and everybody else who spoke this week. But of course, the 2 minutes of Kalani's mustache talk is probably what you're looking for if you're looking for Brigham Young University sound at KSL Podcast.
Yes. Always great to hear from Kalani. Always great to hear about the goings on down there at BYU during their fall camp, especially in a season like this, man, where you have so many, such high expectations, right? Such high of a want from the fan base to finally get over that hump and potentially win a Big 12 championship and potentially make it to a college football playoff.
Yeah, and I think everything's going to be under the microscope now because of what we've talked about the last 2 weeks with all of this drama going on behind the scenes. And at the end of the day, if you're Kalani, you've got to put that aside you and go out and win football games because, you know, you talk about teams coming, you know, hitting up your phone at the end of the year. That's going to stop if you're not winning football games anymore.
Absolutely.
Right? So for Kalani's best interest, whether he does feel like he needs to leave BYU or, you know, he wants to stay at BYU and win as many games as he can, like his ultimate goal is going to win games, is going to want to win games because that is better for everybody. It's better for him and his resume and his legacy. And of course, that's what BYU wants. And hopefully this year they're on the other side of the college football playoff committee.
Yep, that's where you want to get to, again, as far as your BYU. And it seems like right now, man, they have all the pieces in place, all the players in place to do so. Really, really excited about that defense. Really excited about Bear and his development and see where he's at heading into year 2. And we're so close. We're so close to seeing some of those answers. We're so close to seeing. And again, for BYU, I think even more so than the Utah conversation. Obviously, you take on an FCS school week 1, which is great. That's fine. But then week 2, you have a big, massive Big 12 test coming up with Arizona week 2 in Provo.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's hop across the valley, shall we? And listen to the other head coach, Morgan Scally. This was not from yesterday. It was from earlier in the week. But it's always great to hear from Coach Scally. Let's hear what he had to say.
Good. You're getting into the kind of the dog days of fall camp. You know, it's easy to have energy on day 1, easy to be excited on day 1. It's having that same energy throughout. Really good practice today, competitive. We're becoming better, situational mechanics, and it's good that it's competitive right now, that you don't have one side dominating the other. And I think the coaches are doing a good job of keeping our guys fresh, but understanding we got to be physical.
Coach, offensive line was a big priority coming into camp. Do you feel like you've got this down to 2 or 3 combinations you feel good about?
Not yet. We're still a couple bumps and bruises that shifts things around, but we'll have our dudes by game 1.
Where does Obot fit into that?
He's looking really good, but he understands the stuff he needs to work on, and no spots are solidified right now.
You guys had a scrimmage on Saturday. What stood out from that, first scrimmage?
I would say the play of Matiaki Helu showed up in a big way. Lance Holtzclaw off the edge, making a bunch of plays, receivers downfield. So there's a lot of good stuff. I thought the situational mechanics, like I said, that's one thing that, at the beginning of camp, not clean enough, not fast enough, but much better. I'd say red zone work, kind of a mixed bag. We need to be more efficient, not enough touchdowns in the red zone, too many field goals. Having said that, the kicking game's really good. Kicking game is really good. Love our 2 kickers, and obviously Orion's been established as a punter, but both Dylan and Tanner are doing a nice job.
Morgan, obviously the offensive line has been a question mark for you guys. Just what else do you want to see out of them as fall camp progresses?
I would say I think we've gotten to the point where we're physical enough. The pre-snap penalties are being cut down. Just continued progress. There's not one glaring thing where I'm sitting there saying, like, we're deficient here. It's just maybe a little bit cleaner in the things that we're doing, from protection to taking on slanters. So, and they've got, one of the best teachers I know in Jordan Gross. So, I'm excited for that group and what they're going to show that first game.
How does the defense look right now?
Defense looks good. We're solidifying that, the D tackle spot. Same thing on offense. You get these bumps and bruises, guys, having to be out of practice or two. So still, that's up for grabs as well. Getting Carson Kafusi back and, mixing in some guys. So that's unsettled right now.
Are you still exploring bringing back in Naquari Rogers or any other class of 22 guys, or do you feel like this roster's set?
We feel pretty good right now.
This time last week, you talked about tensions being kind of high between the offense and the defense, and maybe even want them to cool down a little bit. What is the process like, and how neat is it to watch a team become a team when they stop competing with each other and start, jumping on the same page?
Oh, I think we have it now, and I wouldn't say, you have to be competitive without being combative. It's the stuff that's going to get you penalized, the extra shoves and stuff like that, and so there is a fine line, but our guys do a really good job of making sure that we don't take it to that next level where all of a sudden there's stupid penalties, and I would say it's really not an issue, and this is a very close team. I'm excited.
It seems like you've made a pretty intentional effort to invite former players back into the program, have them watch practice. Why is that important for you?
Why is it important to have alumni around? Well, man, they bled and sweat, and they love this program, and they want to know that there's a legacy there. That our current players didn't build this building. Our current players are building their own legacy. So there's a lot of guys with a lot of passion for this program. The way it's been run, the family atmosphere, they need to know that continues.
You talked about, obviously, the offensive and defensive line. There's still positions up for grabs. Mm-hmm. How about the depth and your pecking order at wide receiver, corner, some of those other positions?
Just lovely. We got good ones. I'm not going to tell you what that depth is, but we got good depth, and do your fantasy draft or whatever. That we got really good ones. I'm excited for that group both, and that's another group that traditionally they're sitting there in their fights every day with the wide receivers and DBs. They do a really good job of pushing each other, but knowing that we got to get to the party healthy.
Just lovely, Alex.
Just lovely.
There you go. That is Utah head coach Morgan Scally addressing the media during camp. One big takeaway there, and something that we will hit on the other side. Scally says they are not interested in bringing anybody in from that class of 2022 injunction. A big player, they brought up Naquari Rogers, another big player, Blake Cotton, that had spent the preseason with the Denver Broncos. He has come back to college football, but he's entering the transfer portal. Sounds like Utah is not going to be in on him. Scally says the roster is set.
Yes, we'll get more into that too, because there's a lot happening with this. There's a lot happening with the injunction. There's a lot happening with the TROs. That now the one that we talked about a couple weeks ago with the Colorado judge, essentially giving eligibility to the class of 2022. Now that potentially it's stayed, so that's potentially going to change. Where does that leave a guy like Jackson Kohler, who committed to BYU yesterday?
More on that next.
Yes.
Stick with us. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Turn it up. Let's go. It's a new era for sports radio in Utah. This is the all-new KSL Sports Zone. As always, DJ and PK kick off your mornings from 6 to 10. Then introducing the newest addition to the KSL Sports Zone. The coach, Tim Lacombe, joins Scotty G every day from 10 to 2. And as you wrap up your day, Jake Scott and Ben Anderson are there with the best sports talk in Utah from 2 to 6. Live and local, all day, every day. Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is live, on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Les Olson IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let Les be here for you.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Thinking about replacing your windows? Choose a company that builds and installs them right here in Utah. Advanced Window Products is Utah's local window and door manufacturer that sells directly to homeowners. Hi, I'm Nate Orchard, the mayor of Sac Lake City with Advanced Window Products. At Advanced Window Products, there are no dealer fees, no middleman markups, and no extra costs to cover someone else's profit. From manufacturing to installation, every step is handled by Advanced Window Products' local team. Every window is custom built in Salt Lake City for Utah's homes and backed by one of the strongest warranties in the industry, a lifetime warranty covering labor, glass, and parts. Even better, it's fully transferable to the next homeowner. Right now, get $2,000 off when you purchase 10 or more windows. Financing is available, and Dominion Energy rebates may help you save even more. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com. That's 801-850-9100 or advancedwindows.com.
The energy, the roar. Moments you'll always remember. Next season, Jaren Jackson Jr. is hunting blocks. Laurie Markkinen is getting buckets. And Ace is just getting started. Don't just watch Jazz basketball. Experience every moment. 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Full and half-season packages available. Plus exclusive benefits like arena discounts and player events. Are you in? Join the climb today. UtahJazz.com or call 801-355-DUNK.
Get hunt ready before you head into the backcountry. Gear up at Mountain Land Truck Outfitters. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment, and you'll get a free $25 Maverick G card. Don't miss his limited time hunting season offer. Visit your nearest Mountain Land Truck Outfitters location or shop today at mtnlndtruck.com. Offer valid through August 31st, 2026 or while supplies last. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment to receive one free $25 Maverick gift card. Limit one gift card per customer account while supplies last.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Craving something sweet? We do ice cream right. Come in and try one of our shakes, freezes, or an ice cream cone, and you'll see why we say JCW's, quality, and a lot of it.
It's that time again.
5.
5. 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Only 5 minutes.
Everybody got that?
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Get on with it.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yes, get on with it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, thank you for tuning in, making us a part of your Saturday morning. Hope you got great plans. Whether your kids are back in school, maybe this is your first Saturday after the kids have started school back up. How is, I don't know, it's not like do you have siblings still in school?
No, they're all graduated.
Okay. I don't know how the first week is. It used to be kind of like a, what do they call it, disclosure week or whatever?
Yeah. They're both in college, and so they still go to school, but it's drastically different from high school, so I don't have anybody at the high school age or the high school level.
Or younger.
Yeah. But
I would assume the first week they're not asking a lot of these kids.
Probably not, no. I mean, from when I was in high school and from when we were in high school, like, I don't remember ever doing anything that first week. It was, these are the rules, and we'll start work next week.
Oh, yeah, why even bother? So, yeah, if your kids started school and now you have to have them back in the house, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Some people want the kids out.
My parents are definitely ones that wanted us out. After 3 months or however long summer vacation was, like, my mom was like, "Get out of here! Go back to school."
I won't name drop, but people here at the station that have kids, I've overheard a conversation and like, yeah, I'm so ready for my kids to start school again. It happens.
It's funny. Yeah, it's that time of year, man. But I hope everybody, who has children that are going to school, whether that's high school, college, elementary, whatever the case may be, hope you guys have a fantastic school year.
You heard on the intro there, it is time for 5 minutes of. Got a few things left to talk about, not a ton of time left. But Alex, let's start here. You ever seen The Office, the episode where Michael's talking about Jan made him get a vasectomy and then made it get reversed, and it was snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap?
Yes.
That's where we're at with the class of 2022 injunction.
Right.
They were not eligible. They were eligible. Now they're not eligible again unless ... I
think one of the most annoying things about this whole situation is the fact that this all could have been avoided had the NCAA just grandfathered the class of 2022 into their new 5-for-5 rule.
But why would they do that? Because that's too easy. And the NCAA wants to make things difficult, and they want to ruin everybody's lives.
Yes.
So why would they do that?
Yes.
Because now they are willing to take this to court for seemingly each individual case. And I know it's not quite that bad, but so the latest on the ruling is you are ineligible unless you had a previous lawsuit filed. What are they calling it? Restraining order filed, which is funny language. I don't know why it's technically called that. That's beyond my salary.
Level of expertise.
But all I know is that certain people
Yeah.
are still eligible. Names like Jackson Kohler.
Jackson Kohler, because, and big shout out to our guy Mitch Harper for putting this out there. But Mitch put out that because Kohler is involved in a TRO that's happening in the state of California, it has, he will still have eligibility for now.
So
I say
fans.
for now because I'm sure the NCAA is going to go after that TRO as well. Essentially, what had happened was, if you remember the Judge Sweeney, and I only remember Sweeney because of Sydney. Judge Sweeney.
Wait, go back.
I only remember it's Judge Sweeney because of Sydney.
Okay.
Judge Sweeney
I like it.
gave a TRO in the state of Colorado that essentially gave eligibility to all 2022 class of 2022 athletes. That TRO has now been stayed after the NCAA won an appeal. So the big one from Colorado has now been stayed, but apparently Kohler and his situation is happening in California, which is a whole different other TRO. Which again, like, why can people go to one state, file something, get a TRO there, and then have a completely different situation in another state, in another whatever? It's all confusing. It's all crazy to follow, and it all could have been avoided had the NCAA just said, "Hey, you know what? Class of 2022, you guys are getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
We're going to grandfather you into all this."
Right. It's too easy. Why would they do the easy thing that makes sense?
Makes no sense.
I think that is the very frustrating part about this, is that it's always a headache. They're always trying to win every minor battle that they can just to say that they did. Just to say that they fought a battle and won, because they have been made a fool of over the last few years with everything. So now they feel like they being the NCAA, feel like they need to save face and make themselves look better with every single court win that they can get. So that's the point where we're at.
Well, and then on top of that, you go to the East Coast. You go down to the great state of Louisiana, and there's another one,
right,
where now NFL players who have been in contracts or are fighting for a roster spot or can potentially move on to practice squads or whatever the case may be, now can go back to college football if they still have another year of eligibility.
Blake Cotton being one of those was on the Utes roster, of course, last year. Spent the preseason with the Denver Broncos. You just heard Morgan Scalley in the previous segment. He was asked about Nakari Rogers, was a name that was also brought up multiple times this offseason. If he received another year of eligibility, would Utah be interested in bringing in Nakari Rogers or really anybody else? And Scalley basically said the roster's set. And frankly, that's where a lot of these football programs are because, again, week 0 is next week. Yes. Week 1 is 2 weeks away.
Yes.
So unless Texas Tech is getting David Bailey back, which of course is not happening. That's just an example of the caliber of player that you'd want to bring in. You're not bringing in some bench guy just because he has an extra year of eligibility. You've got your rosters set. You've got your rotations almost set. It's time to focus on the games. Why bring in another player who's going to complicate all that? Again, unless it's some star player, that's a different situation. But we are seeing some of these instances, whatever. It's a headache. It's a mess.
Well, did you see the possibility of, because of this whole situation, the possibility now that Texas Tech might have a quarterback after all?
Oh, who's that?
You remember Tommy Castellanos, FSU?
Not Nick Castellanos. 6-year anniversary of that, by the way.
No, not that
Hitting
one.
It deep in the left field.
Yeah, not that one. Yes. Not that one. But Tommy, he was the former Florida State quarterback.
Okay.
Now, because of everything that's happening, he might have some eligibility left. Of course, there's still, I think, legal battles to be had with everything that's, with all these TROs, with all these injunctions. There's still legal battles to be figured out. But Texas Tech is trying to bring in Tommy Castellanos.
Well, they'll sit there and tell you that Will Hammond has been their guy and will always be their guy, and then they'll tell you one thing and then show you another thing, by trying to bring a different quarterback on top of him. So that tells you what Texas Tech thinks about Will Hammond as a quarterback.
And it just goes further to show that college sports is an absolute mess.
Of course.
It's a mess.
No chance of it getting fixed anytime soon, by the way.
Nope. Not when you're 8 days away from the football season starting.
Great point.
No, because the football season's going to start here in 9 days. We're going to be playing football, and everybody's going to forget everything that's going to happen. And then, once December rolls around, we see another Lane Kiffin situation. We start seeing some transfer portal situations, some, what do you call it? The tampering situations. We're going to be right back to square one. And we're just going to go through another summer of injunctions, another summer of drama, intrigue, suspense, whatever you want to call it, because it's just the repeating cycle until somebody can figure it out. NCAA.
Yeah, no, they're not going to. Some other news that we never really got to talk about. The Utah Jazz schedule dropped. We are so excited for the Jazz team to be here because it's going to be hopefully playoff basketball. And now, you used to look at the schedule during the tank note era and be like, okay, are the Jazz going to be able to lose enough games to hold on to their pick? When do they need to start tanking? Now you look at it and say, okay, how many wins can the Jazz get? What stretches, what opportunities can they take advantage of to make the playoffs? And I think this is a very interesting schedule because it does matter, right? Some teams benefit from their schedule. Some teams are really hurt by their schedule. I think looking at the Jazz in particular, one thing that's going to hurt them is they have quite a few one-night homestands amidst road stretches. December and February in particular. You look at February, they've got 1, 2, 3 separate instances where they have just a one-game homestand. And I think you talk about a young team that at that point, that late in the year, or I guess midway through the season at that time, they're going to need as much home rest as they can get. That's an area where you look like, okay, if stuff hits the fan, it's probably going to be around then.
Yeah.
Because you've got your young team hitting the wall, kind of unraveling, not knowing how to make a playoff push at that point. And then on top of that, you've got the lack of rest because you've got all these one-game homestands, a lot of road games during that stretch. not a fan of the way that this schedule cracked during the month of February for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, it's not. Plus, you have the All-Star break kind of smack down right in the middle of everything.
Right.
In that
At
month
least
of February.
at least you get the break there. But
So,
of course, are they at home hanging out?
Probably not. Probably not. I do think there are a couple things that stick out to me as far as the schedule goes, and of course, I think a lot of people have national intrigue when it comes to the national games, and so of course you have AJ DeBonsa versus Darren Peterson on national television coming up in that month of February that you're talking about.
Sucks they have to make us wait that long.
I know.
February 27th.
But you'll be able to see Darren Peterson and AJ DeBonsa going head to head
in Utah
on national television.
And that was on purpose too, because it's AJ
absolutely.
DeBonsa coming back to Utah.
Absolutely.
So of course their first meeting was always going to be in this state. But it is weird. Yeah, they're not going to play until February, and then they play again. Only the only other time they see them 1 week later.
Yes.
So their 2 games against Washington are 1 week apart, end of February and beginning of March. That's odd.
And then, of course, you have pretty early on in the season, you'll be able to see what Walker Kessler looks like in yellow at the Los Angeles Lakers.
Coming to Utah.
The first Sunday of the NBA season.
October 25th.
Yeah.
You think he's going to get booed?
I'm hesitant to say yes, but I think probably yes.
Yeah, there was
because the reaction that I've seen online and some of the stuff that I've seen people say online since the schedule was dropped about specifically the Los Angeles Lakers was the fact that they really took to the Instagram post that he had made, right, about wanting to be in Utah, about wanting to stay in Utah.
You don't put roots where you don't want to grow.
Yeah, you don't put roots, that whole Instagram thing. And people have now taken, it's...
Then turn around and bounce a week later.
Right. When it first came out, people were like, oh, this is awesome. That's such a great quote. And now people are like, you suck. You're the worst. because he left a week later. And so I'm sure that there is some animosity, and there will probably be some booze there from
most of the time when a player is traded, it wasn't their choice. But this is obviously a completely different situation because Walker was a restricted free agent.
Right.
And he chose to go talk to LA.
Yep.
And he chose to not take the Jazz's offer. Whether or not the Jazz lowballed him, I don't really know the exact offer. There's been a lot of rumors. I don't know how far apart the Jazz and Walker Kessler were. But at the end of the day, he chose to go to LA. And the Jazz took advantage of that and got a bunch of picks in return. So whatever. I'm with you. I think he'll get booed.
And then, of course, you'll open up the season with Jaren Jackson playing Memphis for the season opener.
At Memphis.
He goes back to Memphis.
Walt Clayton revenge game.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, they do get a nice stretch to end the season at home. They've got 4 home games in a row. Their last game of the season will be at Golden State, but their previous 4 games before that will all be at home. So that'll maybe be a nice opportunity to make one last push for playoff seeding, not just to make the playoffs. So Jazz season feels like it's just around the corner. We still got a couple months to wait, but very excited for the NBA season this year. Let's take a break, Alex, and then on the other side, we will wrap things up. This is the Saturday show. Stick with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Was, if you remember the Judge Sweeney, and I only remember Sweeney because of Sydney. Judge Sweeney.
Wait, go back.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCoe.
BYU has always done more with less. That's kind of their calling card. And it was only maybe a year or two ago where a prominent guy down there stepped up and said, look, we're never going to be the highest bidder. We're never going to throw as much into this as some of these big schools. Well, here we are now, and the coach is asking for more stuff. I honestly believe, Scotty, that what the issue is more than anything, this has happened fast. BYU's been in the game, but every single year there's a demand for more. Money is not, like everybody said, just growing down there on trees.
That is a huge reason why you're even seeing Alabama, you're seeing Michigan, you're seeing a lot of these schools begging Congress to get involved to protect them from themselves, because everybody has a point where it's like, we can't do this anymore.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You don't know what you got till it's gone has never been more true than when your water heater goes out and you hop in the shower. Your body first shivers and then you go into survival mode by letting out a shrieklet, which is like a shriek, just smaller, followed by unnecessary running in place and jazz hands. Look, there are really only two kinds of people in this world that need cold showers, pioneers and plungers. So unless your name is Laura Ingalls or Joe Rogan, cold showers aren't for you. At Shamrock Plumbing, we know what to do when your ungrateful water heater stops showing up for work. Give us a call and we'll get you back to those scalding temperatures you've grown accustomed to over the years. Shamrock Plumbing.
DJ PK and John from J. Brooks Jewelers. Do you want a ring that no one else in the world has? Here's something you need to know.
That's right, DJ. At J. Brooks Jewelers, we're a full custom jewelry house, which means that we design and create your piece start to finish right here in Utah. From the first idea you may have seen online to the very final polish, everything is done in-house by our expert team of artisans. So when you work with our custom stylists and our highly skilled artisans, there's no mass production and no middlemen, just true craftsmanship and collaboration. We'll sit down with you and talk through your vision, show you design concepts, and bring your dream piece to life with precision and care. So whether it's an engagement ring, anniversary gift, or heirloom redesign, we love creating something that tells your story. So if you can imagine it, we can make it. So come see us today at J. Brooks Jewelers in Murray or Lehigh and begin your custom journey today. J. Brooks Jewelers, your locally owned family jeweler.
Now's the perfect time to recognize the everyday heroes who make youth sports happen in our community. The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are celebrating the coaches, referees, organizers, and volunteers who give their time so our kids can play. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest. Each week, one deserving hero will be spotlighted during the Jake and Ben Show at 4:30 p.m. every Thursday. And the winner receives a $250 gift card courtesy of Beehive Meals. Don't wait. Lift up someone who lifts up our kids.
Tim Daly Mazda Southtown has as low as 0% financing on almost our full lineup of 2026 models, even our PHEV models, plus no payments till 2027. That's right, you don't pay till next year. It's happening now during the More to Move You sales event at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown in Sandy. 0% excludes Mazda Miata and Mazda CX-5 models. APR for well-qualified buyers. OAC. $499 dealer doc fee required. Not available with any other offers. See dealer for complete details.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Les Olson IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let Les be here for you.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for Arthritis Pain Relief. What feeling is that? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from arthritis pain. It's that my hands don't hurt just holding things feeling. That wow, I can actually move well feeling. You know, that go about your day without worrying about every little movement or ache feeling. Oh yeah, because Aleve targets arthritis pain at the source of inflammation for long-lasting relief, so you can keep moving through it. Feel up to 12 hours of arthritis pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use is directed for minor arthritis pain.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wrapping up another edition of the Saturday Show. I'm Christian Esparza. Alex Napolis with me, as always. Got Sean producing behind the glass. Thank you for sticking with us one more week. 2 weeks out, Alex, from the start of college football season.
Yes, we're so close. It's really excited for the football season. Wish we had more time too, because there's still so much that happened this week that we didn't even have a chance to get to. But there's the NBA ownership drama that's happening with Matt Ishbia with the Lakers and everything happening there. It's a couple big moves, a couple big trades, a couple big things happening in the NBA. DeRozan last night signing for the Denver Nuggets after Peyton Watson gets traded to the Cavaliers.
Yeah,
many thoughts there, but there's still just so much, and we're so close to getting to college football Saturday.
I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
We were making some intros yesterday. Lloyd and I were working on
Oh, okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. I haven't heard them.
We were just editing the ones from last year.
No, gotcha.
So yeah, that is 2 weeks away, and we are so excited because it's going to be great years, not just for BYU and Utah, but Utah State as well. So want to make sure that we include them when we talk about our local college football teams, because Bronco teams traditionally make a big jump in year 2. And
Yes.
then you've got Kalani returning at BYU, and of course, the big intrigue is how does Morgan Scalley do after Kyle Whittingham leaves.
And I think that there's a lot of intrigue up there in Logan because I think everybody up there recognizes the opportunity that they're in. I know it's not the Big 12 of old, but if you can come in and make some noise the Pac-12, if you can go in and make some noise in the new Pac-12, then kind of cement yourself as a team that's going to be competitive. Kind of cement yourself as a team that's always going to be in the mix for Pac-12 championships. And I think a lot of people up there realize that, and there's also going to be some intrigue for that Utah State season.
I'm excited, man. 2 weeks away. Hey, here's what we got on today's docket here on the station. Coming up at 4:30 RSL pregame as they get ready to take on Orlando. 5:30 first kick. That will be on 97.5. Over on the 1280 side, you're going to have the Bees taking on the Reno Aces. That game starts at 6:20. The on-deck circle starts at 6:20, 6:35 first pitch. Then coming up tomorrow, the Bees wrapping that series against the Aces. That will be on both signals, 97.5 and 1280. On-deck circle starts at 5:50 for the Bees tomorrow, and then 6:05 first pitch. For Alex and Sean, I'm Christian. It's the Saturday Show. Catch